profile design, and I have this weird title. I don't know why I decided to name a presentation. You can use whatever you want instead of those symbols. The screen, I have my hands to make my electronic music. So that's my worst nightmare looks like that, I think, nowadays. I like the computer. I use the computer a lot because my expertise and my research is about computer-based music, computer music and sound synthesis and modeling and all that stuff. And I'm very interested in music interaction and designing devices for music interaction. Well, is it automatic? I don't know. So I like playing live with the computer because of the sound qualities I can get, but I hate the interaction. And I've been to many concerts, and the concerts look like that. So probably if you have so many laptops, that's an orchestra, the future orchestra. It's a nightmare. And I have very sad stories to tell you about this scenario. So anyway, I'm not against the screen, but I'm becoming anti-GUI lately. So my ethos and trend is trying to do electronic music and forget that I play with the screen because it feels like playing with inner. So what I care is about haptic, is the haptic field and the haptic interaction that normally you get with everyday objects. I like the mechanical behavior, I like the touch, even the smell, like I cannot use something like a computer anymore. And how they behave mechanically, because I'm a classical guitarist, I enjoy playing the guitar and strumming the strings or whatever and getting all these other nuances. So I started working after my PhD. I started collaborating with the guy from Stanford University actually. We tried to develop tools, haptic instruments to the public, because everything we do is open source, in order to promote this type of interaction. So the first toy we used is this toy, which looks very silly, but we didn't design it. They designed it for computer games, with guns, so that you use the gun and you can feel the vibrations of the gun, etc. So, but we, with another guy, we hacked the drivers and we made it talk to maximum speed, which is a very common, computer language to do computer electronic music. And then we started building instruments, software instruments that respond to what you do with this device. So in simple words, what we started doing is we were developing mechanical instruments inside the computer. So when you play those instruments, you can feel the string, the friction, the plate, the contact, touch, all that stuff. This toy moves in 3 directions, so you can use it as a beater, the way you beat the drums. And last year I made a composition. I played it in Coventry in November, I think, by using this technology. And so that's how some of the technical stuff in order to get an idea. So this process we're doing is called physical modeling, and it seems that inside the computer you have many springs. They're not real, they are simulated springs, but when you touch them with this device you can feel the stiffness and the elastic properties of this material. And also, the sound is coming from the same object. So they're not tweaks, we're not cheating. Everything that vibrates in the computer coming through the speakers and coming back to your hand. And this is what's called the erotic interaction. So we started composing music and doing stuff with this. I'm not going to play you the piece, but I'm going to show you a short video, which probably maybe will give you an idea of how it looks like. And then the sound is very low. But you can see that it's shaking because I'm rolling on it. It's like a gamelan instrument. And I'm trying to learn this. It's bouncing. You're going to exaggerate and make it vibrate very heavily. You can make it become unstable. So it's passive, it's dead, but it feels alive in your head. Not in your head, in your hand maybe. So I think you got the idea. It's responding to your actions. So the way I work for my pieces is like I'm exploring this new universe of what the hell's happening there. I'm touching, and I like how I touch. I think I'm not smoking. I don't smoke. I like to smoke because it's good. go back, redevelop it, listen, make noise, make my girlfriend angry, or sometimes support me. So for the last piece, I wanted to be, do proper music. So to do proper music in this world, you must have a score. It's very trendy to have a score. So I devised my own score, which you have here the mechanical behavior changes with time, and the gestures when you go down, left, right. There are some symbols that I develop. So so we had like 180 bars of this piece called casting hammering. The last bit. Wow. Well, I was supposed to read that, but I'm not going to do it. So these are the program notes from last night. Last night I performed the piece here, which is built on somehow the same concept, but instead of using this, eggy plastic interface, I developed mine with the help of Olivia Corsica, which is sitting there. So, and I wanted to create a kind of an interactive piece, interactive proposition, which sits somewhere in between of composing music with a visual element and looks like a sculpture, but interact, but has its haptic feel. You touch it, it responds. You're immersed into this thing. So I started by drinking beer and sketching, putting down ideas. I enjoy this phase a lot. That's the best phase. And then we started prototyping. These are some pictures from the prototyping phase, because it was a kind of ambitious thing, because we had to build the mechanical and design device, design and build electronics, build the software, make it a piece, make the visuals. So it was a complex work.
Yes, sorry. Apologize. Sorry again.
Alright. Yeah, so these are the fabrication development. So Olivia did some cards when we decided the shape, and we laser cutted them. These are the electronics, classic Tupperware type electronics. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Yesterday they wouldn't for the first hour, but then it was okay. It worked finally. We used also an Arduino, and that's maybe it's too technical, but there is an Arduino microcontroller which sucks, which measures from the potentiometer. Oh, there it is. So that's how it looks like. So there is a potentiometer here, which is the motorized header which moves around. So you measure the position of the potentiometer, you send it to the computer, you measure stuff. I used maximum speed 6.8, then it responds back, and it speeds out here. Is it here? Yes, here's a touch sense. Here, through a motor controller, you get the force feedback. Arduino code. I told you it's a complex thing. Maximum speed code. My colleague Ed did the drivers for the Arduino. I did this maximum speed thing. The more musical side of things, I wrote everything through Ableton Live, which is a classic digital audio station for electronic music. So the big boss is Ableton Live, the mixed boss is me, and then it's Ableton Live. And some prototyping things, the images don't look very nice in that all my limit would work much better. So we would try with objects in front of the projector, trying to get the visuals and the shadows we wanted, and we ended up with this thing, which is this thing, because the idea is that you have light from the other side of the instrument, and you play with your shadow that moves, and you play with it, and there are letters everywhere, and there is ambient sound everywhere. Alright, so yes, I don't have, I didn't document the piece. I hope someone of you did. Did you take videos? Okay, because I didn't like to get it. I'll tell you about the future, because I'm interested in writing music with these devices, but I'm also interested in making this concept, convince even companies to start making instruments that way, because what's missing from electronic music making is the feel, the haptic feel, the touch. It's all about buttons, but you know, I'm not sending emails, I'm doing music. It's a different thing. I engage with the energy, you know, between me and the instrument. So we have a website, Virgil started a website called Open Haptics for Artists, in which we give our designs. This is version 1. I work with another student from Cardiff Metronom University. He's not interested. He's a Dutch guy called Martijn, I forgot his last name. And he did this website, and we started printing even the enclosure. The designs are open. We give the dimensions of the box and everything. And I told you he's a product designer, so he likes this field. So, but we're trying to find our way now. I finished. Thank you. Do you have any questions about the toy or the...
Yesterday it seemed just like the instrument was just on the edge of feeding back, and you were... Was that deliberate? You were trying to get it just to a place where it was just about to...
You mean the audio feedback?
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, that was the element of I wanted to use in the piece, playing. Yeah. How far can I go with the feedback? I hope I didn't destroy the speaker.
It made it very tense to start off with.
Yeah. The interesting or the difficult thing is that because I'm playing with this complex situation, this dynamic situation, which I cannot control it, and I don't want to control it. The piece had a clear fall, but I was free to improvise alone with the room. When you play it in different places, it sounds different. So in my room, I would get very deep resonances, like I wanted them. Here yesterday, I got this 10,000 hertz speech, which melted my brain, and was trying to push the system to get out the resonances. Unsuccessful. But anyway, I'm playing with these frequencies. Questions? Okay.
How do you hope to create like a bigger sound? So you said you wanted to create some music for it.
Yeah.
How would you do that? Would it be a live space?
Well,
you build things up
with this instrument.
with that one, yeah. Or would you get some more and you'd have other people playing?
It depends on the context. So the piece yesterday, the idea came. I had many ideas. So one of my inspiration was immediately a piece with 100 metronomes. Anyway, but what fed the piece was the proposal, the concept of this exhibition, which was about interacting, feeding everywhere, everything. So I played with this concept. So it was not in my mind to do something like that, but I tried to fit in more with the exhibition. But the future pieces, I don't know how. I don't know. I tried to drink beer, program a little bit, make some sounds, drink beer. But it takes, it takes a while, it takes months. I'm very slow. I feel like Columbus, I'm exploring. Yeah. Yes? Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Just one question, sir. How do you see the performance developing? Do you have one person or several?
Yesterday I cheated because my ambition is not to touch the screen and not to touch buttons. I wanted it to be only me and those 4.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we were 4 because in the beginning I wanted 10. Be a nightmare. So imagine me, the light and those faders, and playing with light, shadow and faders. That's all. No screens, no buttons, no media controllers, nothing.
But there's not sometimes the technology frighten you that if you have something like a live performance, and you've got 20 wires and 2 PCs.
Yeah, you touch the
Yeah.
most sensitive element because yesterday I had this problem. And what I try to avoid is exactly this problem. I try to hide the technology and enjoy the mechanical interaction. But when you have already you have 8 wires there, and a mixing desk, and an audio interface, and a computer, and it's hardware, everything can go wrong, and yesterday everything went wrong. Everything. So, but after 1 hour and a half of drinking this beautiful beer here, And you helped me a lot with your Zen attitude. You helped a lot. At 7:30 it worked. Yes, now I can
Must have been the beer.
definitely, yeah. I'm glad about it. But I try to, I hate cables and screens, but when I do, I like the sounds. I like the sounds. And it was a very interesting concept 3 years ago. One of my very bands were playing club, and they were playing in Bristol with the gamelan orchestra. And it was beautiful. It was very spiritual. You have the gamelan sounds, and everybody was smiling. And you have the duo playing, trying to join them, and they were not smiling. They were anxious because things weren't working. You could see the tensions. They were watching their screens while all the other guys in the Zen. Finally, I joined the gamelan orchestra in Cardiff. I like it, but I still doing the electronic stuff. But I want this feeling. I want the feel of the gamelan music that you smile and you play. It's beautiful, like the guitar. Cables.
Okay, thanks, Alexandros.
Cheers.
Who would like to go next?